Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode in my Football Manager series. This is episode number 61, and today we have the final game of the Barclays Premier League season as we take on Chelsea away at Stamford Bridge. Before we play that one though, going to show you how Swansea have been getting on off camera. So of course, in the last episode, you saw us exit the Champions League at the first knockout round after our 1-1 draw with Real Madrid. That put us out of the competition on the away goal rule, but then we did respond with a 4-2 victory over Liverpool in the Premier League. I then played a few games off camera, and as you can see, we went on a really nice win streak. We first beat Arsenal by 2-0, then West Brom by 1-0, then Newcastle by 3-0, then Southampton by 2-0, then Stoke by 3-0, and then out of the blue we had a 3-3 draw against Leicester away at the King Power Stadium. So that was a bit dodgy. We had such a long win streak in the Premier League as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 games in a row, and then that 3-3 draw just came completely out of the blue. But Esposito did score a hat-trick, and that was pretty cool. But then our last game, which I played off camera, was the first game, or should have been, I should say, the first game of today's episode. But instead, by this point, we'd already won the title, so I played it off camera. We lost to City by 2-1 at home. They scored a stoppage time winner to make sure we now have 2 games without a win. So in today's episode, we had a final game of the season, but of course, for us, it's meaningless. We won the title, by the way. This game right here, 2-0 against Southampton at the Liberty Stadium, and that was the game that clinched the title for us. So as you can see, coming into the final game of the season, we've got nothing to play for. We've won it by 10 points, and it just comes down to whether we can win on the final day or not. As you can see, Chelsea though, they're trying to stay in. No, they already got a Europa League by a cup competition, but they could possibly qualify for the Champions League with a win today, and that'll be kind of interesting. So they have something to play for, so they'll be surely going for it all guns blazing at Stamford Bridge. But just kind of funny as well, just before I move on, that Southampton game, the 2-0, was the one that clinched the title. And whilst I was playing the games off camera and on that win streak, I was experimenting with the side, resting players and whatnot. And for Ben Davies and Joe Allen, they had both played 8 games, so that Southampton game was their 9th one. So as you can see, they don't get in their career achievements, despite now playing 10 games, a winner's medal. They miss out on one because they didn't get to 10 games. You remember last season, I discussed this. A few of my players didn't get a winner's medal in their honours here, despite playing 10 league games. It's because when you win the title, the honour then gets put on the career achievements. So for Ben Davies, for example, hitting 11 games now, he will never get one. He won't get a winner's medal. Whereas someone like Patino, for example, he's now he's played 12, but he had played 10 at that point. He got a winner's medal. And so those players that reach 10 games before you won the title, they get a winner's medal. But the ones that don't, if they fall out of reaching 10 games before you win the title, it doesn't matter whether they get to 10 games afterwards, they still won't get one. So poor Ben Davies, 2 years in a row he's played more than 10 games, but because he won the title before his 10th, unfortunately he doesn't get one. But just a trivial thing that I thought I'd show you anyway, just in case a couple of you guys pointed out and wonder why Davies, for example, has never won a Premier League winner's medal with us, even though he really should have one, because he's a vital member of our side. Well, not a vital member, an important member anyway. But still, enough nattering on. Today's episode is against Chelsea, and yeah, it's the final one of the season. It means basically nothing for us, but we'll see what we can do. But I do want to say, as I run through the team as well, I have been discussing this possibly being our final season in Football Manager World. Do you know what? I'll discuss that. I'll discuss that towards the end of the episode. So let's just go through the team and let's get into the game. We're playing a 4-4-2. I've switched to a 4-4-2 and it's been doing quite well. Esposito's been banging them in. That's great to see. So the change back to the 4-4-2 has worked out for us, really. Leno starts in goal. Back four of George, Fabiano, Marlon and Karaman in midfield. Sisto on the left, Brandt on the right. And in the middle, Pep and also Redmond. Up top together, Barbosa and Esposito. And on the bench, Pickford, Gomez, Davies, Benz, Casillas and Mahrez. And also, for the final time, Callum, Clutch Wilson. So, first game of the episode, only game of the episode, we take on Chelsea away from home. Means nothing, but let's get the win regardless. Come on, Swansea. So, first highlight of the game. We had to wait until the second half to get it, but it does come to Chelsea right from kickoff, really. Azpilicueta swings in a cross, and Santi Mina, who scored in the reverse leg at the Liberty Stadium, gives Chelsea a 1-0 lead. Again, means nothing for us, but for them, they'll be overtaking Spurs and going into the top 4 as things stand. So a good little cross there by the Spanish fullback into the centre, picks out Santi Mina. And, I mean, Leno, it's not been a good end to season for him. It really hasn't. He did have a good run of clean sheets though off camera, I should say, and made a couple of decent saves in those games too. But he's made a couple of, being beaten as near post is something we saw with Timo Horn a lot. and I didn't want to see all of Leno, but that's twice now in 2 games on camera, one against Real Madrid and now against Chelsea. So 1-0 to the home side, and here's Kante dancing around one and finding wisdom inside the area, back towards Kante, good challenge by Redmond, and as the highlight continues, Chelsea sense blood here and could possibly get a second, and they could have done as well, but Costa was offside. But still, 1-0 to Chelsea, they have the lead, and not good goalkeeping from Leno, really. And as we come towards the end of the game, we are still trailing by a goal. One final chance possibly, and it looks like it'll come to Chelsea to secure the points. But instead, I've anti-jinxed it, and we could be away here. No, we're giving it away, and I've jinxed it, actually. Here's Kante's on the ball. Double jinx, I feel. No, we want it back again. Fabiano to Redmond. Let's just shut up, shall we? Brandt on the ball. Sends Wilson down left-hand side, off the bench here. Callum Wilson, can he be clutch one final time? Finds Benzema through towards Mahrez. All 3 subs linking up here, and Mahrez could have come off the bench to rescue us and give us a point later on. Sadly, the Algerian could not hit the target, and it goes wide of the post. So that should do it then. Final score, Chelsea 1, Swansea 0. And just like last season, very interesting to have it happen again here, deja vu, but just like last season, we're going to lose our final 2 league games, which is kind of disappointing, really. Obviously, again, it doesn't really matter too much because we've already won the title, but to lose both of our league games at the end of the season 2 years in a row is quite disappointing, isn't it? So final score, Chelsea 1, Swansea 0. They get the winner because of that, move into the top 4. I would assertively tell them we weren't good enough, and as you can see, most of them are fired up or motivated, but as you can see, we still were top of the table anyway. It does not matter one bit to us. So final score 1-0. We get 35 million for that. Very nice to see. Poor old Rio's lost his job. And yeah, was it Rio? Please tell me it was Rio. Was it Rio? Yeah, okay. And then that was that. So final score then 1-0 Chelsea. The Premier League table, I should say, ends up looking like this come the end of the season. We top it with 84 points. Last season got to 88, so 4 less than last year, but it is worth noting this season the competition was much stronger. Last season we ran away with it, and in the end we had a few games towards the end where we sort of slipped up a little bit. But the teams last season, if you remember, we were like 17 points clear at one point. This season it was nothing like that, and it was far tighter. So we win the title anyway. Good to retain it. Back-to-back titles for Swansea. City finished second. United finished third. Chelsea do indeed sneak into 4th place. Arsenal dropped to 5th, and Spurs finished in 6th. Although compared to last season, I'm sure Spurs fans will be very happy with that. The relegated sides were Norwich, Middlesbrough, and also the Hammers, and that was how the Premier League finished as well. And for us this season, it's not a successful year. It's not a successful year. Usually year after year you hear me say it's been a pretty successful season for us, really, and on the whole I'm pretty happy. This season not so much. Don't get me wrong, I'm delighted to have retained our title. It shows that, in my opinion, we are becoming the strongest side in England. If we're not there yet, we're making a claim to be considered the strongest side as the years go by. But in the other competitions, we failed to retain our Community Shield. We got knocked out by Championship opposition Hull City, even though it wasn't really too important. But in the FA Cup, we failed to retain it for a 3rd straight year. We got knocked out by Everton in the 5th round. The ball wants to reach the final, didn't even get close. And in the Champions League, the ball wants to reach the quarterfinals. We were knocked out in the 1st knockout round. It was by Real Madrid to take the pressure off a little bit from me there, to take away the criticism a little bit. But either way, didn't reach the quarterfinals. So it's not been a successful season. I'm glad we retained the title, but on the whole, a little bit disappointed this year. And as we do come towards the end of the season, a few things to show you. The end of season awards: Sigurdsson won Fans Player of the Year. Sisto, of course, won it the past 2 years. Now Siggy gets it with 36% of the votes. I think I'd agree with that one, to be honest. Patino won goal of the season. That was against QPR. He danced around 3 or 4 players for that goal, I think it was, and a nice finish too. That was also his only goal for the club too. So if you're going to score just one, make it memorable. Brandt was the signing of the season. Definitely agree with that. 12.5 million. And Karaman was the young player of the season. So yeah, I think the fans got that spot on, to be honest. That was a good, was it fans that voted out? I don't know, but still, I think all of those were correct, I would say. So yeah, a good season in the league, no doubt about that, but in every other competition, quite disappointing, but still. As you can see here, a few of the tips Swansea to achieve more than continental qualification at best heading into the season, but the Swans confounded every expectation by finishing top of the pile as unlikely champions. So yeah, it's not exactly unlikely. I think it's a little bit of a harsh thing to say there, but again, I really don't want to be negative. I really don't want to be negative to end today's episode, but I am quite disappointed with these. I'm very disappointed, to be honest, and I guess the Premier League was nice to win it for a second straight year, but it's still a little bit disappointing. But still, I think that's probably the only thing I have to show you to end today's episode as well. I'm going to passionately say it's been a great season. You've done all brilliantly. You've all done brilliant to win the title. Go away and get yourselves fully rested now, because we're going to do it again next season. Everyone's happy with that. I'm going to passionately tell them that's exactly the sort of reaction I was after, boys. And most people are really happy with that. And yeah, I can't think of anything else I need to show you right now. So I think we're probably going to end the episode there. Let's get the boys back for 7 weeks. 6 weeks. Give them an extra week's holiday. But yeah, we'll end the episode there. I can't think of anything else I need to show you. I just do want to say real briefly, I know that I did say during the season I was considering making it my final one. But you've got about a month left until FIFA 17, and I've got to be honest here, other than my Rayo Vallecano series, I've got very little to make right now. There's no point in starting a new series on FM or FIFA, because let's be honest here, I simply won't finish it. So because of that, I think I'm going to keep on going, at least for the time being. I know quite a lot of you guys are beginning to lose interest now, because we've won the title now 2 years in a row. That I totally do understand that, but we've only got a month to go until the new game comes out, so because of that, it would be kind of pointless starting a new series either on FIFA or Football Manager. So I'll continue for the time being. A few of you guys did say carry on until you win the Champions League. I don't know whether I'll be able to do that or not. I highly doubt it. But what I think I will do is, because of how quickly we can get through seasons in this series, what I think I will do is play through until the 10th season, and then that will be our final one. So we'll do 10 seasons with Swansea, and then we'll end it there. And if we win the Champions League before, maybe we'll end it after that, but I don't see that happening, to be honest. So I think we'll just do 10 seasons. This was the 7th. We've got 8, 9, and 10th to come, so that'll be 3 more seasons, and I think that'll do it for us. So yeah, that will end today's episode then, guys. So a big thank you for watching. I really hope you have enjoyed it, and again, I hope you have enjoyed this, our 7th season in charge of the Welsh side. Again, not the most successful of seasons here overall, but to retain our league title was very, very nice to see. And it's good to know that, again, we are becoming, I would say, the strongest side in England right now. And I'd like to think, too, that after our 10th season, we would be considered outright the strongest side in the nation. Oh, Barbosa, what's going on, bruv? But still, thanks for watching today's episode. Hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then please do leave a like. Much like, what are you doing, George? Why are you declining? Why do so many of my players decline this season? I mean, I know it's not been our best season, but why are they declining? Like, why are so many of my players declining? I said I didn't want to end on a negative, and this is not making it easy for me. That's more like it. Thank you, Caraman. Why are so many players declining this year? I'm annoyed. I can't end like this. I've got to say something nice, for goodness sake. I'm ending on a real bad negative, and I don't want to. Just, thanks for watching and that. I've been thrown off, haven't I? I can't even end it anywhere. I don't know what to say. Just thanks for watching. I love you. I really do. You guys have made my life so much better. Thank you. I don't even know what to say. Thanks. Leave a like if you want. You don't have to. that players declining has ruined my ending.